Hello everyone. I just wanted to I wanted to bring you this video and uh you know basically I wanted to talk to you about Donald Trump. I know I was trying not to make any videos about Donald Trump, but I've gotten a lot of comments lately. Uh, I just wanted to clarify. I've gotten a lot of comments lately. People were asking me, how could a black guy, support Donald Trump? You betrayed your, uh, you betrayed your minority ancestors by voting for Donald Trump. All this, yeah, they didn't say it that way, but basically the question was, how could a black guy vote for Donald Trump? Basically, and somebody asked me that yesterday, and I was like, I gave the wrong answer. What I said was, uh, that I've literally seen so much real racism in my life. You know, I remember growing up and seeing the old photos of the lynchings, the castrations, and then later on I was going to uh, all the you go on in the internet, there were so many white supremacist websites, and basically the stuff they would say was to the extreme, especially about black people. So you know so basically what I said was that I had seen so much real racism, so much real hatred, that I could not classify what Donald Trump said as racism. Uh, but that was a really incomplete answer. Uh, that was a really incomplete answer. You know, the 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 actual answer, the truest answer that I can think of is this. Um, basically, yeah, and this is true. This is true across the board. The reason why someone like Bernie Sanders can't win, the reason why someone like Bernie Sanders can't win the election, in this country at least, the reason why is that most Americans are more insulted by what Bernie Sanders says than they are by anything that Trump says. And this is like, knock on wood. This is like knock on wood. You know what I mean? Of course, my table is glass, but the analogy still stands. uh, most Americans are more insulted by what Bernie Sanders says than by anything that Trump says. Basically, when Bernie Sanders says that everything will be free, everyone will go to college for free, everyone will see a doctor for free, you know, I personally feel the way that Bernie Sanders supporters feel when Trump says that illegal immigrants commit crimes. You know, so that's the real reason, and the reason for that is the uh, the well documented history of socialism, and especially communism, in the world. And I learned at a very young age, that you know uh, communism. Uh, you know, I use communism and socialism, interchangeably because they're so similar. But basically, basically, they have something in common, which is that if somebody tells you that uh, everything's going to be free, everything under the sun is free, you know, that's usually a euphemism for starvation. Basically, uh, you look at the old Soviet Union, and they said, nobody will be poor. Everybody will, control the fruits of their labor. Nobody will starve. Nobody, and then basically people started starving. And when somebody says everything will be free, it's a euphemism for bread lines, rationing, eating boot leather, starvation, uh, disease. Basically that's what it means. Uh, uh, you know, loss of wealth, loss of property. Uh, that's what it means when somebody says that everything will be free. And we've already had socialism in the United States. It was called welfare. Now, I was I was I was raised on welfare from I mean up until high school we were on welfare. I was born on welfare, and I know from personal experience that when everybody says you're gonna live for free, it really means that you're gonna starve. If you saw a picture of me back in the late '80s, early '90s, I looked like I was gonna die. You know, and this was before welfare reform. Uh, you know, it's that when somebody says everything's gonna be free, it you know basically it's all about it's all about having that experience and having that experience, understand the human condition, understanding how to read people, what people really mean by what they say. Uh, so that's the real reason why I support Trump is that you know basically I support Trump because he's the opposite of Bernie Sanders. You know, uh, and because Sanders announced his candidacy first before Trump, not first, but before Trump, and then Trump came in later. So when Sanders came in, I was like, man, this is gonna end badly. I gotta find somebody who's not like Sanders. And then Trump came along at the perfect time. He came at the perfect time for Democrats and Republicans because after Mitt Romney, I mean, the Republicans were at a crossroads. You know, uh, but so yeah, so it's like you, you know, it's like it's like it's like it's like college. It's like college. Somebody walks up to you, basically, you are indoctrinated your whole life to think that you need this piece of paper, this college degree, And what they tell you is that if you put yourself under completely insurmountable debt, like, you know, if you put yourself under the kind of debt that 90% of the human race would not be able to pay off in their entire lifetime, then we will give you a whole bunch of money after you put yourself under insurmountable debt. You know, it's sort of like that. It's like, how do you know when somebody's trying to scam you? You know, um, it's similar to that, but you know, and you know, it's sort of like it, it's sort of like if you look at the situation, even if you look at how it worked back during communism, is that, you know, people said this is for the, you know, this is for the proletariat. You know, we're gonna take the money from the super rich and we're gonna distribute it to the poor. But if you look at Bernie Sanders rallies, the majority of the supporters you see at his rallies are wealthy white people. I mean, not to be a racist, not to be a racist or anything, but you know what I'm saying is that the majority of people who support Bernie Sanders are wealthier, and you know that's instructive because, you know, back in communism days, the back in communism days, basically the the they promised that they would take from the rich and give to the poor, but ultimately what they did was take from the poor and give to the rich, and that's what happened. You know, those families who were already elite, those families who were, you know, those families who were already elite, who already had power, gained even more power, and those who were not powerful lost even more than what they had. They lost even more than, you know, they had already lost. And so I don't want this video to be too long, but uh, yeah, I mean, you know, the problem with the problem with the whole free college for everything is that, you know, basically, you know, I mean, uh, most of the people at Bernie Sanders rallies are people whose family uh, did actually send them to college, did actually pay for their children to go to college. You know, they seem to have relatively little student loan debt, you know, but even if they did have student loan debt, they seemed like they were able to get jobs and to, which would allow them to pay the money back, you know. So for them, free college would have been an afterthought. So, you know, it would be so easy for someone like me to say we need to have free college for everybody so that I can go back to college for free as a poor person, because there's no way in the world that I'll ever be able to get back into college unless somebody else pays for it. And that really gets to the heart of the problem with liberalism in general, because the assumption is with liberalism that if they accept if they're willing to accept anything, and this really gets to the heart of the problem of infinity too. The heart of the problem is that if they accept anything, if they accept absolutely anything, then by default they have to accept me too. See what I did there? They, the thing you're thinking about in your mind is that if they're willing to accept absolutely anything, then by default they have to also accept me because I mean, you know, but basically what ends up happening is that they will accept absolutely anything except you, and that's the truth about how liberalism actually works. Uh, they will accept absolutely anything except you, and so I mean, uh, I could go on, but I want to end this video a little bit quickly. So yeah, that's the reason why I support Trump is that saying that saying that you should never have to pay for anything is really it's it's more insulting than a racial slur because you know that somebody could hate you because of your skin color, but they can't necessarily make you starve to the point where you're about to die. Uh, so so in that sense, what Bernie Sanders says is more insulting than what Trump says because I mean, it hurts. It hurts when certain white people. It hurts when certain when racism is brought up. It's basically brought up as a white only thing, as in only white people can be racist. That's what they say. So it hurts when a white person doesn't like you because you know there's a there's a there's an economic downfall when people with economic power don't like you. So it hurts, but you can still survive or even thrive even though people with economic power don't like you. You know, uh, I mean it's possible. So that's all I wanted to say, and let me know what you think. I know I made this video go long, but yeah. So I didn't want to use anybody's real name because I didn't want to embarrass anybody. So yeah. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So bye.